Street Talk and other stuff. Mad Dog McNatty, thanks for tuning in on this fine Monday, first Monday in March. March comes in like a lion, well, but not so much, okay? We've had a very mild winter. Now, I feel guilty saying this, but I'm thankful for that. Okay, I know we need the snowpack. I know we need, the water. We're kind of in the middle of a drought, but spring is coming, and that's always a great thing. And I just want to say one thing, I don't know how I feel or think about the current situation that we're going through in this country, in this war with Iran. I just need more time to think about it, get more information, but I want to say this. Wars are easy to start. They're very hard to stop, okay? So if you're praying people, pray for guidance for this country, okay? Pray for the people in Iran. I mean, we are just... Don't get me started on how I feel about the current state of affairs, not only in our nation, but in our world together. But hey, let's try to make things a little lighter this morning, on this Monday morning, but Street Talk and other stuff. I've got a good guest, very good topic today, and some very interesting stuff to discuss. But thanks for tuning in. Street Talk and other stuff, stick around. We will be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Chelan Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff, and I'm very happy to present to you Kelsey Eberth. Kelsey is only my friend, but Kelsey is also the pastor of New Song Community Church, where I have been attending since about 1997.
Yeah.
So
since I was 8 years old.
Well, look, she's such a mature, sophisticated woman now.
I know.
So, okay.
It's true.
So, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, some interesting stuff to talk about, but just a little bit about yourself,
Yeah, I've been pastoring at New Song for about 6 years now, attending for 14, 15.
Yeah, you've been there for quite some time.
Been there for a while. I used to teach English at Wenatchee High School, and then...
I didn't know that.
Really? You didn't know that?
Really?
Yeah,
No.
for a while, and then taught 1 year at Eastmont, and then decided to stay home with kids until I went to seminary and began pastoring at New Song.
Okay, English was always my favorite subject because it was a language I already spoke.
You've already halfway there.
So what grade level did you teach?
All of them at some point, but yes, high school, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, well tell us about that. What was your thrust? What was your,
My favorite part? What's my thrust?
Maybe, because my senior year in high school, my
Okay.
English teacher, we focused on the Canterbury Tales.
Oh, okay.
Which was cool,
Yeah.
okay? And another teacher, I can't remember what she taught, but you got extra credit if you read a book and came and reported to her. That's how I always got A's in that class. I never did any classwork.
You just read books and talked about it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, there wasn't a specific book or unit that I loved more than others necessarily, but I just really loved the students. I loved building relationships with them. I had been a young life leader before and just had a heart for high schoolers and just really loved getting to know them.
Okay, so you taught at Wenatchee High School for how many years?
I took a couple years off to have kids and things like that, but I think 10 in total.
Kids that just kind of get in the way of your career
gosh,
sometimes.
tell me about
it. And then Eastmont for just 1 year.
Just 1 year. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did one thing and then decided to stop teaching for a while.
That's interesting. Now, do you think that's something you might go back to someday?
I let my certificate lapse, so probably not. I have to go back and start again.
Back?
I don't know. I haven't. So there's no plan to do so. I should say. I haven't considered it.
I actually went to school to be a teacher at one point myself.
I think I remember you saying that.
And you know why I quit?
Why?
Why I didn't quit. I just gave up that particular goal because I realized I did not think I could engage me if me walked into one of my classrooms.
You didn't want to teach yourself. You didn't want to.
Well, no, I didn't. You know, I just didn't think I had it.
Okay. I don't know about that, but.
Now there were times I used to go and read. They had people from the community come in and read to certain classes, and I used to do it for a teacher I knew at
like elementary.
Yeah. Well, no, it was Pioneer Middle School.
Oh, okay.
And I can engage the kids for a day. And what was interesting, the class next door, I knew the gal who was the teacher, and she was the teacher that had all the kids that nobody else could handle.
I actually had a lot of that too.
Oh, really?
I got a lot of the kids that nobody else could handle.
Okay, well, she asked me to come in and talk to the kids. We spent half an hour looking at a globe discussing issues of World War II.
Wow.
And it was cool, but I couldn't do that every day.
As a cop? You went in as a cop?
Yeah, I was a cop.
Okay, yeah.
You know, but that's not something I could do every day.
It was like a once in a lifetime experience for you.
Well, it's just I couldn't go into the same classroom every day and engage the kids at that level all the time.
Got it.
Well, that's cool. You're a teacher. Right?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I'm just doing a different kind of teaching.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so you 2 children.
I have 2 kids. Yes, Brooklyn's at Foothills Middle School, and Hudson is a 4th grader at John Newberry. We love both those schools very much.
And your hubby, we were just discussing.
Yes, he sells fruit.
Okay.
And is in musical theater. That's what we were
right.
talking about. He's going to be in Legally Blonde and was in Hot August Nights this summer, which Mike will be doing this summer. But he doesn't remember what role he is.
I'm the guy from New Hampshire. He's a
the
Mormon.
guy from. I thought you said he was a Quaker.
No, he's not. He's a Quaker.
Yeah.
Yes, but he likes his rum.
You got to read your script.
Okay. I've got to work on
right.
it, but I just got finished with.
Don't let Jamie find out.
I know,
You don't even know
sorry.
how he cast you.
Jamie's already well aware of my limitations.
Okay, good.
So.
He knows what he's getting into.
Okay, that's good.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been pastoring for how long now?
About 6 years.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I graduated from Fuller Theological Seminary about 5 years ago. Was doing it after I took the job and did school through COVID online, and now I'm full-time lead pastor at New Song.
So have there been challenges in pastoring that you didn't anticipate?
There have only been challenges in pastoring. Yeah, so I started.
Because this is how we grow and evolve.
Right, right, yeah. So I started September of 2019, and then we went into COVID and went online. That was, as we all know, a complicated season.
Huge challenges, not only for churches, but for many folks.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of divisive conversations started happening, and then our church decided that it was time for us to come out as open and affirming full and equal rights for the LGBTQ plus community. That became controversial, and the state of our world has seemed to become more and more fraught with anxiety and tension and division, and the church is a microcosm of the community and of the world. So we are learning and navigating and picking up these pieces along with everyone else, and trying to love and serve in the midst of it. So if you look at the state of the world, you can kind of get a glimpse of the state of the church.
Interesting. Okay. And there's just a lot of, I don't want to use the word conflict, or there's just differences in how church is being approached nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember one time we spoke, you and I, and you said you had questions about, we both had questions about the future of the church.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You're a young person, okay? You're going to have a lot of life left after I'm gone.
Right.
Where do you see us going as the Church of Jesus Christ?
As a whole or as New Song Community Church?
Both.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the church is really shifting and changing with the times. I think COVID really presented big questions to the church. Are we just a Sunday morning program? Well, it turns out we're not, because it turns out you can just listen to a podcast and have the same effect.
Sure.
So I think we are having to question the purpose and intention of the church. I think that requires us to look outside of our building, that we know that the church exists. We were known and called in Scripture as the body of Christ. And so we are relational people. We, as humans, we are relational, and so gathering together is necessary for the health of the church, and then taking that body and going out and serving and loving the community is another necessary part in our world.
No, I think that's very important, because I used to go to Bethesda, that I know you're familiar with, but you were too young probably to.
Maybe not born. Hard to say.
And the whole idea was we were supposedly outreaching, but we weren't. It was so insulated. It was just focusing on the people in the building. Now, discipleship is important, training people is important, but the whole reason is the Great Commission. Go out and make disciples and teach them to do what I taught you to do.
Which is love.
Okay, exactly. Okay, which is love, and do the things Jesus would do if he were here within your frame of influence and your frame of ability.
And here's a whole book that shows you what he did.
Right, right. And it's very simple if you want to read. I tell people this all the time. Read Matthew 5-7, the Sermon on the Mount.
Yep.
And a guy named Mike Rumley-Wells, who we both know very well, he
Love.
said this at a message in New Song once. He said that God or Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount does not tell us what to believe, he tells us what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have not forgotten that. That's very important.
Yeah,
So-
I think that it is easy for us to, like you said, get insulated, be very inward focused. But our call as the church is not to put on a program on Sunday mornings, but rather to love and serve the community outside of Sunday mornings.
Right, and your job in part, if I may say so, you can disagree with me, is to help us learn how to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
And encourage us and challenge us to do that exactly.
Yeah, and to pay attention. I think it's important for the church and pastors in particular to have just be taking the pulse of the community and the world. And I meet with a congregant in our church quite frequently, and he's always asking me, what do you think people need to hear? And it's good for him to ask me that question, because it's important for me to be paying attention to how people are dealing with life in the world, and what do people need to hear? Do they need to be encouraged? Do they need to be reminded of their love? Do they need to be given hope? And then to look in our scriptures and figure out how to pass that on to them.
And in regards to that, directly related, now I'm going to talk to you later about a specific problem you're doing, but there's another project you started.
Yeah, we talked about that last time on here.
Let's talk about it again.
Community
a little
cart?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so we, something that we have always been passionate about in New Song is feeding people, feeding ourselves. We have a
Wait a minute,
meal.
Isn't that something Jesus told us to do?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he did. Yeah, we didn't write that
That's
ourselves.
my favorite verse.
I
in the
bet
Bible.
it is. I bet it
He
is.
said, give them something to eat.
Let them eat. So we've had a food pantry for years, right outside our building, which, shameless plug, we always need more food. It's available out there. You can put stuff in at any time, take what you need at any time. But when SNAP benefits were at risk, we started a program called Community Cart, where we paired up people who are at risk of losing their SNAP benefits with people who were in a different life situation, and they went shopping together or went shopping for the other. And our goal was to not just provide food, but to restore dignity and build relationships in that process.
Right. Yeah, and I took part in that. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
Very nice young man, recovering from issues in his life, doing very well. happy to do it. But then there's another project that you have recently started. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but we got to take a break. Now, again, I'm talking with Kelsey Eberth. She is my pastor. She's the pastor of New Song Community Church. 10 o'clock Sunday morning, Grant Road and Iowa Street.
That's right.
We don't pass a plate. Now, I know many people have said, I would go to a church if they didn't take a collection. Well, we don't take a collection.
You don't have to
so
give
I'll
us
see you
any
Sunday.
money.
But we're going to come back and talk about this recent thing that Kelsey has taken the lead on when we're back. But Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back. So.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
Okay, Street Talk and other stuff. We're back. I've got my guest is Kelsey Eberth, pastor of New Song Community Church. And the reason I wanted to have you on today is because you recently had a little project and put a little program together. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so we created a video with a variety of congregants. We put out a statement of our belief of the current ways that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been treating people in our community and in our country. And we felt a responsibility as followers of Christ to make a statement. And then from that statement, we created a video with each person reading a different part of it. And the reason we did that was not to take a political stance, which you asked me earlier what's been challenging as a pastor in a church. And I think one of the things is we've become so divisive, but I think we've lost a sense of ethical responsibility. And as for followers of Jesus, we have it pretty clearly laid out, and I actually should say that. It's not clear. We have different ways of viewing things. But Jesus does show us how to love in very tangible ways. And so what's happened is that gospel principles have become politicized. And so when we say something that is in my opinion, quite obvious the way of Christ, loving people, human dignity, reminding people of their belovedness. When we say something like that, we all of a sudden have made a stance in our bipartisan system. But our intention with this video is not to take a political stance, but to respond to the hatred and fear-mongering that we have witnessed, how we've all witnessed all over our country.
And we're going to run the video. Okay, so Malcolm, you on. Do your expertise, buddy. We're waiting for you to go. So here we go.
We are New Song Community Church, rooted in the love and justice of Jesus.
We affirm the sacred worth and dignity of every human being.
Our hope is centered in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
And we follow Jesus, the one who consistently moves toward those pushed to the margins. We are deeply concerned by the actions of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Actions that cause fear,
separation,
and harm in immigrant communities.
Families are torn apart. Vulnerable people are put at risk.
That is not the way of Jesus.
Jesus said, "I was a stranger and you welcomed me." We take those words seriously.
Scripture tells us God's people are known by compassion,
by hospitality,
and by justice.
Any system that dehumanizes people
or treats them as disposable
violates this sacred call.
What we see happening now stands in opposition to the heart of the gospel.
We grieve when Christianity is used to justify cruelty.
Jesus does not belong to a nation
or a border
or a political agenda.
Using his name to harm vulnerable people distorts the faith we are trying to live.
We stand in solidarity
with immigrants,
with refugees,
with asylum seekers, and mixed status families.
We commit to being a community of welcome,
of advocacy,
of courage.
We will speak out against injustice
and work toward policies that honor human dignity and families.
We call on our leaders
to pursue humane, just, and compassionate immigration reform. We invite followers of Christ to pray,
to learn,
and to act alongside those most impacted.
In the name of Jesus, we choose welcome over fear.
We choose welcome over fear.
We choose welcome over fear.
In the name of Jesus, we choose welcome over fear.
Okay, now, if I recall correctly, you just put this together, finalized this video last week.
Yes.
You showed it in church on Sunday. Have you shared it anywhere else?
We shared it on our social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook, and it will be on our website.
Have you gotten any feedback yet? Okay, I know it's still pretty new for that.
Yeah, I have gotten mostly positive feedback, people appreciating our stance and our speaking up.
Right.
Yeah, it's been
positive.
And
you know what really frustrates me is that, I mean, I'm going to be not as kind as you. Okay, but there are many people who call themselves followers of Jesus who would totally disagree with this.
Right.
Because they say these people are criminals, they don't belong here. Now, we know what the administration has told us, but we know what the facts are. Very small percentage of these people are actually criminals, and those that are, it's minor type crimes. But what these folks are doing, these followers of Jesus, are saying, since they entered this country illegally, they are criminals, therefore Jesus would tell them to get out. That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah. I think,
and I cannot fathom that.
Right.
And I'm sorry if I'm pushing you further than you want, because like I said, I'm a little bit more, you know, like I said, I'm not as kind as you. I'm not as kind as you.
Yeah, I think I would never question anyone's allegiance to Christ. Because
and I'm not doing that either. Okay. I'm not doing that either.
You're questioning. Yes, I hear you. You're questioning the policy and what people are saying.
Expression of what they
and
call
I think
their
as it's frustrated when we hear Jesus, someone we love and follow, and revolve our lives around being used to say that this person or this would cast somebody out, because that's very different than our interpretation of Scripture. I think what's important is that we recognize that the immigration policies are complicated. There are legal, and there's national security concerns, and we understand all that. So I'm not pretending that those complexities don't exist, and we're not calling for open borders. We're not calling for any particular policy change. But what we are doing is speaking to the moral and spiritual complexities, because I think how we treat people, how we embody compassion, how we live out these teachings of Christ can come into play. That there is somewhere in the middle. I think that there's this misunderstanding that people who are speaking out against ICE or speaking out against what's happening with our immigration policy are saying we just open up the borders, everyone's allowed, criminals don't matter.
No one is saying that.
But it's hard. We're such divisive thinkers these days, and so it's hard for us to get out of the black and white way of thinking and to stay in the gray. But I think that religious people have a responsibility to uphold a moral code of human dignity and love.
And I agree with you, okay? Yeah. And it's just, a lot of it is a change of perception. Because I used to have attitudes that, illegal aliens.
Right.
Family of them moved in next door to us. And these weren't perfect people. The father was somebody who had been convicted of a felony, had been, there weren't perfect folks. I'm not trying to make them out to be. But they were as good Americans as you and I. They're here for a better life. They're here to help their children, okay? And I am a child of immigrants, okay? I'm first generation on my mother's side, okay? And I explained this to a friend of mine who's violently opposed who's violently in favor of what ICE is doing. I said, man, you and I have a much different perspective of this because it was my family who would have been kicked out back in the early 20s of the last century, okay? Like I said, you're a lot kinder than I am.
I think what we as religious people need to do is find what do we agree on. Because I think we get really caught up in the terminology and the buzzwords and the left and the right, that we fail to meet in the middle. And I think if we were to piece out different parts of our statement or what's going on, I really do think we would come to some common grounds.
Right. And I would hope so.
Yeah.
But of course you would have to start to ignore radical speakers like myself.
Right, exactly. You wouldn't be invited to the conversation.
No, I would not. But hey, Street Talk and Other Stuff, talking with Kelsey Eberth. If you want to see that video again, you can go to the New Song website.
Eventually, yeah. As soon as I put it on there. Both of our social media pages on Instagram and Facebook will have it as well.
Okay, all right. We're going to take a quick break, come back and talk to Kelsey just for a few more minutes. But hey, stick around. We will be right back. So.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and Other Stuff. Talking with Pastor Kelsey Eberth, the New Song Community Church. And I wanted to mention something. A lot of this idea of the undocumented are illegal and they need to be kicked out, and Jesus is in favor of that, is coming from this Christian nationalism culture, okay? Yeah. And Christian nationalism is not Christian, it's nationalism. And it's funny, in the columns I wrote about it, I'd always write Christian with a small c, but the newspaper would always
correct it. This guy doesn't know grammar.
But I want to say something that I've said before, and I've had to do this, and I continue to. Is my faith being affected by my politics? Or are my politics being affected by my faith? And granted, okay, they're not always compatible, okay? I mean, people want a Christian president. When they had one, they didn't like him, and you probably know him, Jimmy Carter, okay? I don't expect the president to rule this country by Christian principles all the time. He can't. He can't take the oath to protect the people and do everything Jesus would do, okay? Now, whether that's right or wrong is above my pay grade, all right? But what we say in the video, Jesus is not confined to one nation. He's not Americans, okay? Jesus is definitely not American.
No, no, and I don't actually. Christian nationalism is this fusion of national identity, suggesting that Christianity should dominate or control our political system, right? And so it's a lack of separation in church and state. And I think that what we forget is that we want separation of church and state. Yes, definitely. Because what if it goes to a different church? And that's where we forget that we believe that evangelical Christianity is the way the country should be ruled. But if you are from either a different form of Christianity or Hinduism or Buddhism, then suddenly you really do want your church and state back.
Okay, but hey, Pastor Kelsey, I really appreciate you being on here today. Okay,
Thank
appreciate your insight. And I'll try to see you on Sunday. Monday.
Hey,
okay,
I hope
I'll
you
try
do.
to be there, but
All
hey,
right.
Street talk and other stuff. Appreciate you being here. We will see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.